Syslog is the core service that records and monitors system logs on a system. In Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6, the original syslog daemon has been replaced with the rsyslog daemon. It is a drop-in replacement for the original syslog service with some enhancements such as the ability to write log messages straight to a MySQL or PostgreSQL database, and by sending encrypted system messages to a remote syslog server. You won't have to worry about any of the advanced features for rsyslog on the RHCSA exam, but you will need to understand its basic configuration. The default configuration file for the rsyslog daemon is located in the etc directory. We will first take a look at the rules section. At first glance, you can see that this is the file that dictates where certain system messages get sent. For instance, you can see that most messages, besides mail messages, get sent to var log messages. And a little bit below that, we see that cron messages get sent to var log cron. Any messages marked as emergency get sent to everybody, as indicated by the star character. The rules are broken down into two sections. You first have the facility, such as cron, followed by a dot, and then finally the priority, here represented by a star, and for the emergency represented by the word emerge. So in the rules for cron, the facility is cron, then a dot, followed by the priority, which is represented by the star character. The star means that any priority messages gets logged to the cron log located at var log cron. In the emergency rule, any facility, represented by the star character, that has a priority of emergency gets sent to everybody. Some of the other priorities that we can log are critical messages, information messages, warnings, errors, and others. As an example, if we want to receive critical priority messages from the kernel facility to be sent to var log messages, we can modify our kernel rule like so. Once we make changes to our rsyslog.conf file, we can reload the configuration file to the service rather than restart the service. Now, anytime there is a critical kernel message, we will have an entry for it in var log messages. We can also set up our syslog service to send copies of our logs to a remote server. This is beneficial in a case where you can have a single location that collects logs for various systems on your network. You can save yourself some time by reading the various system logs at one server rather than logging into each individual server to view the logs. Another benefit is that in the event a system gets compromised, you can have another location that will store the logs from that system. If an intruder attempts to modify a system log on the compromised server, you will have a good copy of the logs on another system. Scroll down to the bottom of the file to find the section that contains the directives for sending the logs to a remote system. This directive is the line that actually sends the syslog messages to a remote host. The first part, with the star, indicates that we want all facility and all priority messages. You can change this if you only want specific facilities or certain priorities. Next, we see two @ signs. The two @ signs mean that we want the syslog communications to occur over TCP. If there is only one @ sign, that means the communications will occur over UDP. Next, you enter in either the hostname or IP of the remote system, followed by a colon, and finally the port number. By default, syslog uses port 514, but you can change this to whatever you want. Just be sure to have the port you specify opened on the remote host in its firewall. With this configuration, we are sending all log messages to our remote host at 192.168.75.132 on TCP port 514. And don't forget to reload your syslog configuration file. You can view the system documentation on the rsyslog daemon by using a web browser and viewing the following. In our next video, we are going to examine some of our system logs.